Welcome everybody to Getting APIs to Work. In today's episode, we'll look at a device, the remarkable tablet, but we won't really dive into a long review of the tablet. I'll just give you a brief overview, but we will look at how much better it could be if it had an API, which it doesn't. And I think this is an excellent example of how easy it actually could be to think about what things you can enable if your device or if your service had an API, and what kind of opportunities you may miss if you don't think along those lines. And I think this really is a pretty important lesson that we can learn for many areas. So let's briefly look at the tablet. So this tablet was released in 2017. It is something that I really like. As you may have noticed, if you have one, this is not even the newest model because I don't use it that much anymore because it is limited, and I think it could be much better if it had an API and was better integrated, but I'll get to that a little later. So I've always used notebooks. So I've had notebooks, you see a good old CA notebook. I've had notebooks all my life. I like taking notes, and I loved the opportunity basically to move to something digital when it became available. Back in 2007 even, I bought the first Kindle that came out. You may remember it. It was an ugly white plastic, weirdly shaped thing, but it had e-ink. And I always loved the idea of e-ink as a display technology, which looks just like paper, feels like paper, and you can write on it really like paper. And the writing experience is really nice. There really is nothing that can be said, I think, against it. But the thing that I think is not so great is the networking part of the product. So you do get apps that run on your phone. So this, for example, here is the iPhone app, right, that you can connect. So you can connect to something else, but that's very limited, and we'll get to that later. What I want to have is, if I make the move from paper to digital, I really want to have it as part of my digital toolbox and not just in some very limited and unnecessarily limited way. And that's the main thrust of the message that I want to talk about today. The first version of this, and this is the first version, came out in 2017. It was really something pretty remarkable back then. And it was very successful. I think it was crowdfunded. It sold around 100,000 units, probably more by now. I don't really know the exact numbers, but it actually is relatively successful. But my point is, I think it could be much more successful if product management would be a little bit more open to thinking outside of the tablet, so to speak. The writing experience on this is really sublime. It's wonderful. You get this special pen that you write with. It has a weird little plastic tip, and then you write on it. You can select different kind of pens that you write with and widths and so forth, and it really almost feels like paper. I love writing and sketching on the thing, so this one is one of the sketches that I've made. I'll show you this one a little later, but it's really, there's nothing to be said against that. And if you want to find out more how it feels, how you may be able to use it, check out other videos. You'll find many of them on YouTube that really give you a thorough review of the remarkable tablet as a tablet. What I find disappointing is that the app experience is really not so great. The apps that come with it are you can run them on your phone, you can run them on your computer, they run on an iPad, they run on Windows, they run on Macs. And the way they've implemented that is with Qt. So Qt is a framework that allows you to write an app once and then run it anywhere, on phones, on tablets, on computers. And that's nice, and I understand it. And I think it's good as a minimal connectivity solution to do that. So I have no issues with that app not being that great, because in the end, Remarkable should focus their energy on making a good tablet, and this is what they're doing. But if you look at how this works, what you see is that the app already, of course, talks to some service. In that case, I think it's running in Google Cloud, and your tablet is talking to that service, right? So there is some connectivity going on. And therefore, what you can conclude from that is that there is an API, right? There is an API where your tablet connects to the cloud, some cloud service, and then when you use the apps, those apps actually connect to the cloud and download the latest version. And you can also upload stuff. You can upload PDFs, for example, for reading on the tablet. So there is an API. There's actually two APIs, right? There's one API that works between the tablet and the cloud, as you can see here in my wonderful tablet created illustration. So there's one API that connects the tablet with the cloud, and then there's another API that connects the cloud with these apps that Remarkable is doing. My point is that this second API, that is the cloud API, this really should be open. It should be something that's documented, usable, where I can sign up for, and that's the main point, right? Then you would get many more apps that would work with the tablet. And I can easily imagine so many things that I want to get. I want to get having my notes being directly appearing in Dropbox whenever I write something on the tablet. I want them maybe to directly appear in OneNote, or I want to do this or that. There's no limits to what people may want to do, and I understand that as a tablet company, Remarkable cannot do all of this. But what they can do is they can allow those things to happen. And that's really the magic of an API, right? In the end, you open up certain services and then you allow co-creation of value. And I think this really is what Remarkable should be doing. And other companies, of course, as well. This is just one example story that I want to tell. So I think I have a Remarkable business plan, and the Remarkable business plan would be to say the open API that is running in the cloud and connecting the cloud to my phone, that should be a public API, right? It should be one that everybody can sign up for. And then people can develop apps against it. That's number one. So there definitely will be useful things happening. It's maybe hard to control, but it's not so hard to monitor. And that's another really nice aspect. So if Remarkable did that, now they could watch what kind of applications are using our API. What are people doing with it? What kind of scenarios do people use our tablets for the most? This would also give them really great feedback on their user population, which I'm sure right now they might not have that much, right? Because you have real world usage from the field where people are doing certain things more than others. And you see that because you see how your API is being used. And if you turn it into an API that people need to register for, which you probably should, then you really have a pretty good grasp on what's going on. This allows you to understand better how your product is being used, and it also allows you to better understand what should we focus on in terms of user interface and user experience. Are there certain things we should maybe invest more time with in our product because we know this is what people are doing? Maybe there's other things that people are not doing this much, so we don't have to invest this much time in our product. And I think it's really something that would give you a lot of very useful design input. It also would give you very useful marketing input. If you understand better how people are using it, you also understand better how it succeeds in the market, or how it could better succeed in the market, so that, for example, you can better target marketing campaigns because you know that this is what people do a lot, so probably more people would be interested in doing that because that seems to be something that people want to do. So there's another really important upside of that. And I think this is really something where having an API would be not so complicated and it would have so many upsides. And the point is, there is an API, it's just not documented and open. And I think getting to that point wouldn't take that much time. And I'm going out on a limb here and I'm saying, hey, Remarkable, if you want to do this, get in touch. I'm more than happy to give you a little bit of free consulting on that because I really want this thing to succeed. I like it. But I don't like how it works for me right now. And I would love to see a little bit more openness in terms of thinking when it comes to thinking about how can we make this product more useful for more people. And I think this is my main takeaway lesson from this video. It's important for many companies, I think, to become more API aware, to understand that APIs unlock potential, to understand that APIs can fuel co-creation and innovation. So you don't have to invest that much. You just have to invest in the API to allow that to happen. APIs also allow feedback so that you better understand how people are actually using your products, which can help you a lot with design and marketing and all these things. So I think really that there is a lot of potential there. I hope that this is something that will happen. I don't think it will, but well, I'll give it a try. Regardless of whether Remarkable chooses to actually have an API or not, I really wish them good luck, because I think it is a really great tablet to work with. I will keep using it, but until it is better connected with the digital world, I think I will, stick with the old one, and that's good enough for me. But I really think it's a very nice and useful tablet to work with. So really, this is mostly my attempt to saying it could be even better. And because it fits so nicely and it was just published this week, I want to give you a little pointer to where you can read more about this general mindset. This is, I think, a brilliant article that was just published in Harvard Business Review by my former colleague, Matt McAlarty. So a little shout out here to Matt. So I think this is another good way to learn about that APIs really are kind of a mindset. They're not a technical thing. They are a way to better understand how can I become part of a network of producers, consumers, creators, and so forth. And if you do it well, there is so much value that you can unlock that I think it's really important, and it can make a big difference to learn more about it. So I'll link to this article from the description of this video, and that's it for today. So I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I hope you'll be part of the next video as well. See you soon. Bye.